Well, credit card debt in the United States has never been higher, with the latest figures from the New York Fed putting total credit card debt at $1.12 trillion. That same study shows that 15% of Gen Zers have maxed out their credit cards. So, how did this all happen? Analysts at the New York Fed attribute some of this to young adults who, on top of the inflationary costs that we've all been feeling, are being burdened with very high student debt. Factor in shorter credit histories and a lower credit limit, and you get more Gen Xers maxing out their cards or missing payments. To help us understand why this trend is happening and what can be done about it, we've got Nandan Sheth, who is the Splitit CEO. All right, we're going to get to your business in a moment here, Nandan, and thanks so much for hopping on with us. But you hear figures like this. What goes through your head?
Firstly, thanks for having me. The real story, Brad, is the phantom debt that's in the market today, that's driven by buy now, pay later plans and programs. There's $50 billion worth of that debt that's unreported. And because it's unreported, it has a ripple effect on credit card repayments and exaggerates the situation that is certainly fueled by inflation and high interest rates.
How does this have a longer-term ramification as well on the credit worthiness for a large group of a generation, if you will, that is now having some of these maxed out credit cards impact their scores?
I think it's going to have a seismic impact. We just did a survey, and it noted that 1/3 of individuals that sign up for a buy now, pay later plan do not know that they're originating a new loan. And as you know, those plans are not being reported to the credit bureaus, so it's hidden from the ecosystem. You probably also noticed today, in line with your question, that the CFPB announced that they're going to regulate buy now, pay later on par with credit cards, which tells you that we need more responsible lending in this space.
Okay, so let's go a little bit more into your business as a player within this buy now, pay later, or split it into payments type of space. What's different about Splitit versus some of the other comparable industry competitors? A lot of people might think about a Firm or a Klarna or something like that.
Very, very fine and formidable competitors. We're very different, Brad. The primary difference between us and other buy now, pay laters is we're not originating a new loan. And because we're not originating a new loan, we're using existing credit that consumers have on their credit cards. So if you try to make a $1,000 purchase and you don't have enough of a credit limit, we won't approve you for the transaction. And as such, we feel that we're a lot more responsible because we're already governed by the credit card regulations. And the fact that we're not allowing consumers to what's called loan stack, I think makes our proposition a lot simpler and a lot more responsible for consumers and merchants.
And so that considered as well, what is the revenue model or even the profitability pathway look like for sustained profitability for Splitit?
Yeah, so because we're not spending millions of dollars on marketing and our write-offs are significantly lower because we're not originating new loans, we have a very clear pathway to profitability. Number one, all of our installment plans are 0% to the consumer. We only charge the merchant, and the merchant offers the 0% plan to the consumer. So based on our volume, based on our trajectory, we're very confident that within a 18-month period, we'll be profitable. Number two, because our revenue model does not focus on consumer fees and hidden fees, it's much more, but it's much easier for merchants to adopt and ensure that their consumers are getting a very fair buy now, pay later program on their websites.
Nandan Sheth, who is the Splitit CEO. Nandan, thanks so much for taking the time here with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad.